Are you wasting your time in Disney World?
Especially when your day's been a nightmare like today.
Oh my goodness.
Starts all the way over there and goes all the way here.
We spend a lot of time making videos to show you just how to get the most out of your Disney World trip. To do so, we often zigzag and run through the parks to make sure we're making the most of our time, but sometimes we rack up as many as 30,000 steps a day in a park. But that's not always realistic for families coming to the parks who may not be able to or want to run around all day. You asked for it, and now we are going to see just how much you can get done without all of that running around and see if we're actually wasting time in Disney World. Let's go back a few hours. Roll the tape. So when it comes to rules for this experiment, one of us is going to move through the park land by land. That's me. And I'm not allowed to go back and forth or crisscross into a non-adjacent land. Sage gets to backtrack and zigzag as much as he needs to. And this is really just going to test if zigzagging is really worth your time. We're both allowed to use Genie Plus, and we're both going to hop on Tron, but the person who's going land by land, me, is not allowed to break my route for the lightning lane, so I need to plan accordingly. Now, reminder, this is not a challenge or a competition. The vibe is experimental, okay, friends? We're getting back to our roots. We're doing a little science today, and we're going to show you how much you might miss out on if you don't zigzag, and why we crisscross the park so much.
It's very important to know. We were both in the parties for Tron. My Disney experience, the whole app, Genie Plus, it crazy glitched out this morning. In fact, we couldn't even make our first individual lightning lane until
8:05.
8:05, an hour and 5 minutes after we're supposed to be able to make our own. In fact, the virtual queue for Tron glitched. We were both pre-selected in the party, but it only put her in the virtual queue, which means I either have to go to the experience, the guest experience team to figure that out, or just take the loss and do the individual lightning later. But it is important to know that if you're both pre-selected and only one of you actually end up booking Tron, the other one you cannot be added no matter what. So, where are you headed to now?
Well, my Tron got called.
Oh, didn't really?
Well, I'm gonna have to go to Tron because I don't want to miss it, and then come back to what's probably going to be an hour Space Mountain.
Right, so that's why I'm going to hit Space Mountain right away. Adventureland has short waits right now, but I figured might as well. We're only doing this until 4, so we better get cracking.
We better go.
Bye!
Okay, so we are on our way. I actually have like an hour window for Tron, so technically I could get on Space and then go back to Tron, but the thing is if Space takes even a little bit too long, I could miss my lightning lane, and frankly, if I miss the lightning lane, then I'm not getting on the ride today, which is not an option for us. So we're gonna see what we can do. We're gonna try to do everything as quickly as possible, but Tomorrowland is already presenting a challenge. I will say, and I think Sage will probably agree, the crowds are wild this morning. We did get here technically before the park opened. We got to the TTC, but because of the full travel time, it took us a long time to get over here. So rope drop was not quite what we had wanted it to be, just because the crowds are pretty busy. So that's one thing with rope drop. You think, oh, I'm getting there at 8:30. Well, then you have to still travel to Magic Kingdom. The TTC and Magic Kingdom are not one and the same. So it might take a little bit longer than you're anticipating. But let's go ride Tron.
Space Mountain is a thrilling, high-speed, turbulent roller coaster in the dark that actually includes sharp turns, sudden drops, and stops. You get in your very own rocket and you zip and zoom through outer space. It is a classic Disney attraction. But there is something important to know, that you can no longer film on this ride. Handheld or loose articles, including cell phones and cameras, are not permitted while riding. You gotta put it all in your bag, or in the rider storage, which is the little bag right in front of you.
So if you haven't been on Tron, it is the newest roller coaster here in Magic Kingdom. It takes you onto the grid, and it's really fun. It's like a bike kind of situation with a big launch. It's a little bit short, but once you kind of get over that fact, it's a ton of fun. Right now you can only access it 2 ways. One, through purchasing an individual lightning lane, which Sage did, and the other one is grabbing a virtual queue, which I did. The virtual queue is free. It's open twice a day, once at 7 a.m. and once at 1 p.m. You do have to be in park for the 1 p.m. drop, and it's pretty competitive. And without both of those things, you're not gonna ride Tron. So we're gonna try them both out. that lightning lane will be moving faster, but that's kind of the whole point, right? Now this is the line for the virtual queue, and technically I am not in it until I tap my band, which is all the way down at the end. So that's one thing we always say, don't come right before your virtual queue ends, because you might get stuck in a line outside and miss it, which I'm not willing to do. Also, it is raining and this queue is outside for a while. So, I mean, just a good start overall to the day. This looks massive. Look how, why does the hat look like that? It's like double the size of my head. I like it though. It's just funny.
Now I am zigzagging around a whole bunch today. The goal is to ride as many attractions. We actually have a list of attractions before our timer stops at 4 o'clock today. Now because today is literally disaster day, I'm gonna call it Genie Gate 2023. It's gonna make our jobs that much more difficult. Yes, we were able to still grab our, preferred lightning lanes. I was unable to get Tron this morning because of the glitch, but the big bummer of it all is that our lightning lanes were pushed incredibly far out, so my first lightning lane isn't until 1 o'clock, which means the 2-hour cooldown is definitely in effect right now.
Okay, I am finally on my way to the lockers. It's taken me about 30 minutes to get up here, but that means we're almost there. So let's get our stuff in the locker. If you've never done this, you do need a physical card or your magic band, but it's a free locker. You just tap, it'll work. Maybe it's not gonna work because my magic band is wonky. Let's try it on here. There it goes. And you just put your stuff in the locker. I'll see you on the other side.
Tell you what, Space Mountain it's always surprisingly thrilling. I've done this a million times before. It's not going to be anything new. It's going to be fun, but it's not going to freak me out. And because it's almost pitch black, other than some stars, and you're not quite sure where you're going to turn next unless you've really memorized it, it can definitely rock your world a little bit. Okay, we've got 45 minutes before we can book our next lightning lane. We're still in the middle of that 2-hour cooldown. Astro Orbiter is on our list. It's about a 25-minute wait. That's probably, typically you'll see Astro Orbiter around a 40-minute wait throughout the day. So that's not bad. I don't think this is gonna be anything, I don't think this is gonna be more than a 25-minute wait, potentially 20. So I think it's time to give Astro Orbiter a little run for its money. The reason we say we don't typically recommend Tomorrowland for your rope drop strategy, that's because of early entry. Early entry is where resort guests get into the park 30 minutes before normal park guests. And the only 2 lands that are available for early entry is Tomorrowland and Fantasyland. Now typically you'll always find me in Adventureland for the beginning of the day. However, we're gonna get a lightning lane for Jungle Cruise because we're still in our time frame. It hasn't gone past 4 o'clock yet, which is good. And also, the only other attraction that we're doing in Adventureland is Pirates of the Caribbean, and that time's going to fluctuate throughout the entire day. Just double check the list. Astro Orbiter is not on our list for some reason. Why? I don't know. It should be on our list. Probably because it's not a must-do for many people. However, we still have time to kill before our next lightning lane. PeopleMover is right here. Now, while my job is to crisscross throughout the park, it's not a must that I have to crisscross throughout the entire park. So because I have some filler attractions, I'm just gonna do some filler attractions. And PeopleMover is a filler attraction. PeopleMover is an elevated train where you go on a scenic tour of Tomorrowland featuring starscapes, dark tunnels, and unique views of exciting and local destinations. You actually get a sneak peek of some of the attractions you can ride here in Tomorrowland before you ride them, like Buzz Lightyear, Space Mountain, and even some stores. It is a fan favorite, probably because it's relaxing and it's kind of an old school ride. And with the closing of Rocket Rods over in Disneyland, it's the only PeopleMover, so we win.
love it. Once you kind of get over the fact that it's a little bit shorter than some other rides, it's really fun. The more I get on it, the more I like it. It did take me quite a while though to go through this experience. So if you're not using that individual lightning lane, that's just kind of something to be aware of, that it might take you a while. It's taken me over an hour at times to get through that virtual queue line. So just kind of budget that into your day, because it's not always the fastest moving. And we're still here pretty early in the morning, which is normally, if they're able to, when they move the fastest. So now I can guarantee space is gonna be a horrible wait, but we cannot backtrack through our lovely lands. So gotta do Tomorrowland. So on to space. It's saying it's a 15-minute wait right now. It will get higher, and I honestly don't even think it's 50. I think it might be higher than that.
We are doing our first zig before we zag, and we are headed to Fantasyland just because we still have 20 more minutes before we can book our next lightning lane. And that lightning lane it has to be for the Jungle Cruise, because Peter Pan and Jungle Cruise, those are gonna be the first two lightning lanes to fill up. Now, unfortunately, because of all the glitches and all the chaos, I was not able to book a individual lightning lane for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train because the experiment is only until 4 o'clock, and the next time that's available is 5:30, which means I either have to wait in that currently 80-minute line, or I can play the long game and do as much, the rest of the list as much as I can, and maybe save that for last. But at 3:55, I'm sure it's gonna be crowded. But again, we're making our first zig into Fantasyland, and it's time to get on the Mad Tea Party. The Mad Tea Party is a teacup attraction where you control how quickly your teacup spins. You each hop in a teacup, and there's a big metal circle in the middle, and you're spinning that bad boy because it's your on birthday. So might as well spin fast, or not, you know, choose your own adventure.
Okay, I don't want to get too excited, but we have only been in line for less than 10 minutes, right at 10 minutes. And I'm almost to the top, like where they start to divide us. So I'm feeling hopeful.
And from the walk to Tomorrowland to Fantasyland, that's one of the things that zigzagging can get you in a little bit of trouble when from 5 minutes to 25 minutes. That line will inevitably go down. It's got to. 25 minutes is kind of a bonkers time to wait for Mad Tea Party. Currently it says Dumbo is 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a much more reasonable wait for some of these more family style attractions. So let's get on Dumbo. Hopefully a 15-minute wait. Zigzagging all over the park, that's one of the cons, is you could leave an area and by the time you get there, the wait has gone up exponentially. Like that, for example, went from 5 minutes to 25 minutes, so that is a huge con. But a pro is that you can hop from land to land to find the shortest wait time. But again, we were robbed by the zigzagging again, and it's a 20-minute wait. We've got to just make a choice here. We're gonna do it. Typically 15 to 20-minute waits here for Dumbo. I would estimate a 10-minute wait. Something also pretty fun is that while you're waiting in line, if you want to step out of line quickly to let the kids get out some energy, unfortunately, you know, you will lose your spot in line and you'll have to just kind of join whenever you're ready. But you can play in the amazing Dumbo play place. Disney typically stops the clock for the queue when you are split up into different areas or different rows, or you get to a pre-show. We were split up at exactly 15 minutes, so not bad. Now, just because the queue says a time, know that it might be a tad longer, because once you pass a pre-show, or once you get to the point where they divvy you up, there is still more line to be had. Yeah, love a good purple elephant. Purple's one of my favorite colors, other than blue and black. Why purple? Because it's the cross between both good and evil. You know, never let them know your next move. So it's a Star Wars reference. Yes.
Okay, we've been in for 40 minutes, and they are sending me around because I am one person. So we are close to the front, friends. So that's about what they said it would be. So it's all right, not bad.
This day is just the worst. I mean, look, it's just loading. It's 11 o'clock and the app is it's glitching again. This day, we were able to book, finally, 7 minutes past 11 because of the glitches again. I did book Buzz Lightyear. Why didn't I book Jungle Cruise? Well, because Jungle Cruise, the time to book Lightning Lane is already at 4:15, which means I cannot do it. Unless, I mean, I can't do it. I'll just have to wait in the line. So again, remember, it's kind of a coin toss at the beginning of the day, or at 7 a.m. hopefully, if the app doesn't glitch, which one you're gonna choose, Peter Pan's Flight or Jungle Cruise. It really just depends what's on your must-do list. It is possible to get both, but not if you're doing an experiment where you can only go until 4 o'clock. Because we still have a little bit of time left. Our first Lightning Lane is around noon. We have some time left, so let's get into the 20-minute standby for Mad Tea Party. Again, that's something I would recommend on a normal day. Getting in line for Mad Tea Party for anything above 15 minutes, but this is a busier day, so you gotta make some choices. Yeah, that's pretty. Oh, yeah. There's no knowing where we're going. There's no earthly way of... Ow, my hand is cramping.
Okay, friends, just got off of Space Mountain. The weird day continues though, because like I thought I had set an alarm for my next Lightning Lane. Well, guess what? I didn't do. Set an alarm. So now I've wasted basically 20 minutes and I can't get a good Lightning Lane, and I don't know what's happening today. It's just one of those days. We've got 2 rides left in Tomorrowland to finish before we can move on, and I have a Lightning Lane that ends in like the next 30 minutes in Fantasyland, which is not great because we're gonna miss it. But I can't move on without finishing the land. So I'm in a position right now where I'm either gonna have to wait for Buzz or wait an hour to use my Lightning Lane. So here's the thing. Really, if you're on vacation, I say wait the hour. It's an hour wait. You can do other stuff while you're waiting for your Lightning Lane to open. And then you can go ride Buzz and you kind of like maximize that time. The problem is right now for me is my Lightning Lane for Peter Pan's Flight, which is a very coveted Lightning Lane that I worked hard to get this morning despite the glitches, ends very soon. And either way, whether I wait in line for Buzz or I use my Lightning Lane, I'm gonna miss it more than likely. So this is one of those reasons why we always, you know, tend to tell you to maximize crisscrossing as the answer, because right now I'm gonna end up waiting what's probably at least an hour, if not longer, for Peter Pan's Flight, when I could just go skip that entire line by walking over and coming back. Now I know that's not like the best, and you don't necessarily want to spend your whole day zigzagging, but sometimes it just makes more sense. While I try to pull a better Lightning Lane and figure out what to do about Buzz, I am going to kind of maximize this time as much as I can and hop in line and go on the PeopleMover. The PeopleMover is one of my favorite rides in Tomorrowland. It's so nice, it's so relaxing. It's a ride above Tomorrowland. It's just cool, it's simple, and a lot of people skip it, but I don't think that you should. Incredible news. I was able to refresh and I got a better time for 11:55, so we might make it to Peter Pan. We have a 15-minute grace period after it ends, so we have like a little less than an hour. I think we can make it. No, Fantasyland might be crazy, but I think we can make it.
This is gonna be a big old zigzag here. We've got about 25 minutes before we can scan in for our first Lightning Lane. That would be Buzz Lightyear. And everything is it's over 40 minutes, over 50 minutes, over 120 minutes. So we're gonna skip. We're gonna zigzag from Fantasyland to Adventureland to ride the magic carpets of Aladdin and knock that out. Then we're gonna jump back to Tomorrowland for our first Lightning Lane. That's Buzz Lightyear. Let's go. We have made it to the magic carpets of Aladdin. When I was in Fantasyland and I checked the time, it said it was a 15-minute wait. I am hoping that the zigzagging didn't mess us up. And we are still at a 15-minute wait here. Is it? Oh my gosh. 35 minutes. What is happening? I don't think we have a choice. It's 35 minutes. It's still currently the lowest wait of the rest of our attractions on our list. So we're just gonna have to pull the plug here. Oh man.
And now I have a few minutes and then I can tap into Buzz and then hopefully sprint. Not for real, you can't run in Disney World, but walk as fast as humanly possible to Peter Pan's flight. Okay, here we go. This is Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. This is like a shooting game that's themed to Toy Story, mainly to Buzz Lightyear and Zurg. And I'm gonna go tap in. My lightning lane starts in 5 minutes, but fun fact, you can tap in 5 minutes early. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, I just made a lightning lane. I made it for Haunted Mansion because it's pretty long. It's a pretty long line. It's about an hour right now, but it's not for another, what, almost 3 hours? Now I will say though, I need to do smaller rides, but like, you know, less super popular rides like Mad Tea Party, It's a Small World, Dumbo, things like that. They all have lightning lane times starting very soon, and they're showing like 30 and 40 minute waits. So it might make more sense to do those lightning lanes quickly and save, you know, an hour and a half than to save 1 hour on one ride. I don't know, I'm kind of torn. Okay, I ended up switching over to Small World in 30 minutes, and that may have been stupid, but I don't know, it's a long time for Small World and stuff. We'll see.
Say what you will about Disney wait times, but the times are crazy accurate today for as cursed as this day actually is. It was indeed a 35-minute wait, almost to the dot.
So it's now time to hurry to Peter Pan's flight. So hopefully we don't have to wait in that long line. Fingers crossed, we make it. I think we have plenty of time because we do have that grace period, so I'm not super stressed, but I don't want to take any chances. So let's hurry, and we're finally on to Fantasyland. Okay. Zigzagging back all the way to Tomorrowland, and I'm hoping we can start to knock some of these out because once we scan in for Buzz Lightyear, we can grab the next lightning lane. Hopefully the 2 hour cooldown is a little bit of the thing of the past. One, because we're stopping the timer at 4 o'clock, and I can see on the My Disney Experience app that the return times are a little closer together than they were this morning. So, wait, this is perfect. Festival of Fantasy is also on our list. It's 12:15 now. Let's make this happen. Okay, so I'm almost to Peter Pan. Well, we're definitely gonna make it in time, which is great. But I just walked past Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and it's 115 minutes. Okay, I made it over to my lightning lane with about 10 minutes to spare. Thank goodness for that Better Buzz lightning lane, so it worked out. Peter Pan's flight is a lot of fun. It's a classic Disney attraction where you get to fly over Neverland. So here we go. Make sure to check the My Disney Experience app. 9 times out of 10 it happens twice a day, once at noon, once at 3, but depending on hours or parties or things happen, it could just happen once a day, so make sure to check the My Disney Experience app. But it's a great parade, lots of great characters. I love the Festival of Fantasy. It's one of my favorite parades. We've zigzagged back to Buzz Lightyear, so we can scan it for our first lightning lane of the day and hopefully book another one. Okay, good times. It's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorites, but I do find it hard to tell you to wait a long time for it, so I always go for a lightning lane for that one if possible. Next, we're gonna head to Small World. It looks like a long wait, but I went ahead and grabbed a lightning lane for it. That means we'll probably have to wait for Haunted Mansion for sure, but I'd rather skip 3 rides than, you know, 1, I guess. The math is mathing in my head. This is a girl math moment. Everyone please respect me. If you've never been on It's a Small World, this is a slow-moving boat ride that just teaches you it is a small world after all. We have a lot more in common than people think. And it's cute, it's a Disney classic, and it's a must-do at least once in your life if you're at Disney World.
I will say it's very hard filming and doing this by yourself. Not a galactic hero, but not bad. Thanks. What is this? Cosmic Commander. That's cool, that's not bad. And now it all comes down to strategy, and there is no such thing as strategy without a little bit of risk. We are crisscrossing, zigzagging back to Fantasyland. Now, I was able to purchase my next lightning lane because I scanned in for Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. And the next lightning lane that I chose was actually for It's a Small World at 1:05, the exact same time as my Peter Pan's Flight lightning lane. There were a couple different routes I could have gone, specifically Haunted Mansion. Now I'm taking a little bit of a risk here. If I were to choose the Haunted Mansion 3 o'clock return time, that would restart my 2-hour cooldown, and I would rather choose lightning lanes that are closer together, so that way when I scan in, I can immediately do a lightning lane and get the most done that way. Now, with Haunted Mansion actually still being one of the choices on my list, I am going to choose that one next because we have Small World, Peter Pan's Flight, and then Tron. Those 3 back to back. And by that time, we'll probably be around the 2:30 time, which means I can do maybe something easy like PhilharMagic, and then I can go to Haunted Mansion and continue on from there. So there's definitely a strategy involved, but there is some risk.
Good time was had by all on Small World. So next I have a lightning lane for Dumbo, I believe, and then I'm gonna try to do Mad Tea, and then we have to hop in the worst line of the day, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And honestly, at this rate, that could be the last thing I do today. I really hope that that's not the case.
The lightning lane for Peter Pan is epic. If you didn't believe me before about Peter Pan and Jungle Cruise being the most sought after lightning lane in all of Magic Kingdom, the lightning lane for Peter Pan's Flight starts all the way over there. Can you see that yellow sign? And it goes all the way here. I'd say the lightning lane for Peter Pan's Flight is probably about a 25-30 minute wait based on what I'm looking at now. But it is a 25-30 minute wait instead of a currently, what is it? 80-minute wait. So you are saving a full hour. It's a Small World, currently a 40-minute wait. Currently a 45-minute wait. But we are going to hop into our lightning lane, scan in, and then immediately, oh wow, gosh, it's a busy day. Look, the lightning lane is back here. Jeez. As soon as we scan in, we're gonna book our next one, and hopefully we have not missed the Haunted Mansion. Hopefully the risk will be worth the reward.
Now, I was hoping to hop in a short Mad Tea line. It is not looking like that's gonna be an option for us because it's about 25 minutes, which is honestly not horrible, but for Mad Tea, it just feels wrong. Personally, you wait more than 10 minutes for Mad Tea Party, it's because you've done everything else and that's what's left. Or maybe you just really feel passionately about Mad Tea. I feel very passionately about it. However, I will not wait more than 15 minutes for it or grab a lightning lane because normally that time will drop. So don't stress if you can't do it during the day. promise at some point that time will go down. So we're gonna head over to Dumbo, use this lightning lane, tap in, and then kind of see where we land. Grab another lightning lane, hopefully for Mad Tea.
Big Thunder Mountain also on our list for 55-minute wait, 3 o'clock. We're looking for, make sure Haunted Mansion. Did we miss it? 4:15 we missed it. So, Big Thunder Mountain it is. Oh, I forgot I have to scan it a second time. Awesome. Thank you. That was my bad. There are some attractions where you will have to scan in twice, some attractions where you only have to scan in once. It's always important to keep your Magic Band or your card or your phone handy just in case, because you might have to scan it multiple times before you're able to purchase the next one. But Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, here we come.
Okay, here we are. This is Dumbo the Flying Elephant, one of the most iconic Disney attractions, arguably of all time, I'd say. You're gonna fly on Dumbo's back. It's a lot of fun. It's cute. It's kind of, you know, it's a little bit, it has a reputation for being kiddie, but I don't care. I enjoy it. It's slow, it's relaxing, it's chill, and it's kind of a Disney must-do if you've never been. Now, you don't have to do it every time, but you have to do it at least once in your life. Okay. Now I have a lightning lane for Mad Tea for right now, so we're gonna go skip that line as well. And I will say, like, if I had not used lightning lanes for these 3 little ones, the wait times were all honestly 30 plus minutes currently, so it would have been an hour and a half. Haunted Mansion is showing 45, so maybe it was worth it. I honestly don't normally do that strategy, but the crowds are really kind of crazy today. It's been very surprising. So hopefully that will have been worth it. Okay, now we are gonna head on to Mad Tea. This is where you spin in a teacup. That's literally it. You're gonna spin, you're gonna be in a teacup. Okay, great times, lots of fun. Now I will say, I have one more thing to do in Fantasyland before 7 Dwarfs, but it says 85 right now, and it was 110 earlier, so I might grab a snack and hop in line.
Now we've got to crank this out. We've got to quickly get into Peter Pan. Is 124. The start for the lightning lane is all the way in the back, all the way next to PhilharMagic. I'm thinking it's going to be at least a 30-minute wait, and then we're going to have to book it to Tron because the individual lightning lane that we purchased for Tron ends at 2:25, which means we're going to only have 20 minutes or so to get over to Tron and scan in. We should be good, but calculated risks, because if we actually end up missing Tron, there's do not pass go, do not collect $200. They are, because it's such a high demand attraction, they are going to be very strict. So if you have an individual lightning lane, if you have virtual queue, make sure you are on time in your window, because once you miss it, there's nothing they can do. They're not doing anything for you.
Okay, it only took about 5-ish minutes to grab my mobile order from Fire's Nook. I got the curry brat tots. Okay, it said it's about 85 minutes for 7 Dwarfs Mine Train. If you don't know what this is, it's a Snow White themed roller coaster perfect for kiddos. It's very, very, very popular here. And I was gonna buy an individual lightning lane for it. And by the time it was my turn, you know, to buy a lightning lane and I realized it was open for me, it was at 5 o'clock. So I'm in line and I can't leave this land until everything is done. So here we go. Sometimes when you're trying to maximize your time though, if you are taking things land by land, eating on the go is a great option. It's not always everyone's favorite, and I understand why. I don't love to eat on the go a lot, but if I'm gonna be stuck here for 85 minutes, might as well, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone.
There's about a 20-minute wait from where we were in our lightning lane line to being divvied up into our boats. 20 minutes, not bad. Eek, look at how busy it is today. Just, wow. All right, well, we have approximately 30 minutes to get to Tron before our individual lightning lane that we purchased. Today it was $20. Now that individual lightning lane can be a pretty steep price if you're traveling with a family of, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6. Imagine spending $80 so that way your entire family can ride one ride. It can be pretty expensive. However, if it's worth it to you, if it's on your must-do list, then unfortunately, unless you're able to get the virtual queue or you don't want to wait in any lines, that's kind of what it takes to ride some of these attractions right now.
Been in the line for about 30 minutes. We're trucking along, we're making it. It's going faster than I thought it would. I finished lunch, and I will tell you, if you come solo ever or you get in really long lines, I always have the Kindle app downloaded on my book or a game or something, just like something to pass the time. I like to read. Not that y'all care, but I'm reading The Trials of Apollo right now, so that's lots of fun. But yeah, don't do what I'm doing. Don't get in this line midday. There are better options.
We are actually headed into Storybook Circus to go to Tron. Why? Because there's actually a secret back path. It's not a secret, but it's just not in Tomorrowland. You think of Tron, it's got to be in Tomorrowland. There is now, because of Tron, a back entrance to Tomorrowland through Storybook Circus, next to the Barnstormer and next to the Fantasyland station for the Walt Disney World Railroad. It does actually have a pretty cool and unique Tomorrowland sign, and it is a great shortcut to get from Fantasyland to Tomorrowland without having to go back out through the hub or the large crowds between the Mad Tea Party and the Tomorrowland Speedway. So once you see the Fantasyland station, you're gonna hang right and follow this trail down. But that's the Tron-inspired Tomorrowland sign. We're going to this bridge and we've officially made it back into Tomorrowland without breaking a sweat. You're here in Lightning Lane. Tron, presented by Enterprise. There's the virtual queue, Lightning Lane, here we go. Also, I have a lot of stuff with me, so we're gonna have to do some locker configurations. Because I don't have a Magic Band or a card, they actually have to give me a card to use for the locker because I use my phone. They give you these little small plastic cards. You're gonna choose a locker, one that's lit up. Works.
We've officially hit the 1 hour mark. We are at least under the covers, so like we're doing well. If we could get inside, I'd feel really good. But they did just make an announcement that it's a 120-minute wait right now.
We have a full hour before our next Lightning Lane. Lightning Lane for Big Thunder Mountain, which is currently a 75-minute wait, is at 3:15, 45 minutes before the end of the experiment. There are a couple different things that we can do. But I was just reading the list, and it does say get a snack or a treat, you know, for a lunch-esque kind of thing. And I don't really think I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry yet. I'm sure I'm gonna get there, but I would definitely love a treat because it is, you know, we're moving and grooving a lot today. And I did try this Energy Bites frozen slushy at during a recent video, during our red versus blue video that's up on the channel where Em and I are competing again, but this time red versus blue side. It's kind of like Tron, but not. But I saw this pina colada slushy, and I am a sucker for a solid pina colada, especially with Pop Rocks on top. So let's head over to Energy Bites to get this pina colada slushy, if you will. Now it is a pina colada, but it is non-alcoholic. There's no alcohol in here. So 9 times out of 10, I would say I prefer pina colada anything over watermelon anything. But it's because of the pineapple chunks, it makes this really difficult to drink, I guess, and kind of eat. The watermelon slushy is actually really good. It's not overly sweet. So I think out of the two, I actually recommend the watermelon, which is crazy, but because I love pina colada, this one's just okay. So checking out the My Disney Experience app, the shortest wait we currently have before our next Lightning Lane, which is a Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which is currently at a 90-minute wait. It is a very busy day today. And that is Pirates of the Caribbean at a 40-minute wait. Yeah, we have about 45 minutes before our next Lightning Lane. So I say it's time to swashbuckle on the 7 Seas. Right? Yeah, that makes sense. If I can time this all out, I think I might be able to do 4 more things before our time is up. So, Pirates of the Caribbean, I think that'll take me around 30 minutes to get through, 40 minutes including actually riding the attraction. That point, that'll take us right up to 3 o'clock. I think I'm not going to ride Big Thunder Mountain immediately when our Lightning Lane starts. I think I'm actually going to head over to Town Square Theater and meet Mickey. Because during Festival of Fantasy, that's typically when the meet and greets get very, very low wait times. So I'll meet Mickey, then I will zigzag back over to Big Thunder, to Frontierland to ride Big Thunder Mountain. And then I think to cap it all off, I'll end with PhilharMagic. And yeah, did I get Jungle Cruise? Nah. Did I get Big Thunder Mountain? Nah. But hey, the goal was to do as many things as I could on this list. I think we did an okay job with all the nightmarish obstacles we had to get through today. Now, the true issue of the day has been reading something on the My Disney Experience app, making the call to go do it, rushing over to the actual attraction, and the wait just exponentially shoot up to a crazy high wait time. And it is a 55, come on. What to do, I gotta think. Nope, I won't do it. Making the call.
I don't know, we might not have
I don't know why, it's just like my own principles. I just won't wait. I will not wait in those long lines. I won't do it. Nope, cannot. Unless I absolutely have to, like there's no other choice. So, I'm gonna switch some things around. Remember, it's a big thing at Disney World. It's great to have a plan, but you gotta go with the flow sometimes depending on your needs, your thoughts, if the lines are driving you crazy. So, gonna zigzag again and head to PhilharMagic. Don't get me wrong, there are definite pros to skipping around, zigzagging, and getting in the quickest line, planning for all those kind of things. However, you actually end up wasting a lot of time where you could just be standing in line to ride the attraction that you want to, running around everywhere. So there's definitely a pros and cons factor here.
We hit the 85-minute mark and we are not inside. This is a different experiment now.
All right, we made it to PhilharMagic, a concert with character. PhilharMagic is a 3D show where you arrive to the theater ready to be serenaded by Mickey's orchestra, their PhilharMagic, if you will. But unfortunately, Donald ends up causing a little bit of chaos, stealing Sorcerer Mickey's hat, and whizzing us through some of your favorite Disney movies and singing your favorite Disney songs like Be Our Guest, A Whole New World, even some songs from Coco that were recently just added.
And for your safety,
my biggest tip for this show, if you want a more immersive experience, try to sit in the first 7 rows, because eventually, spoiler alert, the theater will kind of surround you, almost 180 degrees around you. So if you sit in the first 7 rows, you'll get a more surround experience. All right, as promised, we are headed back down Main Street, doing another crisscross zigzag ordeal. And look at all the people out here waiting for the parade. But one of the best times to meet Mickey is during the Festival of Fantasy. So we're gonna head to the Town Square Theater and we're gonna meet Mickey Mouse. When I checked 2 minutes ago, it was a 25-minute wait. Look at all these people waiting for the parade. But guess what? I'm the parade. Oh, don't trip. There's a lot of people watching me. Don't trip, Sage. Don't trip. Don't trip.
Okay, we're about 10 minutes shy of 2 full hours, and we made it inside just right now. Yay!
All right, 25 minutes. Here we go. This is one of my favorite places to meet Mickey. Why? Because it takes place in a theater. Go figure. Here is supposed to be the lobby of the theater where you can see some of the posters from some different shows that have happened inside the theater and advertising his big magic show. And then it's almost as if we are going backstage at the theater. You see the rehearsal rooms, the green room, the ticket area, and then it's like we're in Mickey's dressing room as he prepares for his big magic show.
Okay, it's officially been 2 hours since I got in line. I am not close to the front, and I realized that the last parade started 5 minutes ago. That means I'm definitely not finishing the list, and there's only an hour left. So it's not looking good for me right now.
Hello, hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm a big fan of behind the scenes things. I just can see your dressing room and I saw the rehearsal hall outside and just all these amazing things. It's 3:25. That definitely worked out to our advantage. It was only a 20-minute wait to meet Mickey Mouse. Thank goodness, because literally 10 minutes before I got in line, it was 50 minutes. So that zigzag plan worked. Our lightning lane for Big Thunder Mountain, which is currently still a 90-minute wait, started 10 minutes ago. So we're gonna head there, and I think that might be the last thing we have time to do before our 4 o'clock experimental cutoff time. And then we might get a snack if we've got more time, because I'm feeling hungry now. I'm feeling snackish. We made it. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is a coaster attraction where you get in a train, and it's the wildest ride in the wilderness. You zoom past canyons and geysers and even exploding caves.
Okay, 2 hours and 15 minutes later, I'm about to hop on. That means, I did that 135 minutes. It said 80 when I got in line. I truly didn't think that could be worse, but at least we need some lunch.
Just like that, it's almost 3:50, which means I think that's all she wrote, kids. I wonder how Emma's doing, and if she ever got out of that line.
Okay, so I can't help but laugh that we just spent so much time on Seven Dwarfs. And Seven Dwarfs is a really fun roller coaster. It's incredibly smooth. It's perfect for kiddos because the height is not that tall, and it's a really tame first coaster. All of that to be said. You know that saying that like God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers? That's how I feel about parents who have to take their kids on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in the middle of the day. Because my goodness, what a journey you guys must be on. I know that as an adult, I get antsy in line. So I can't imagine how you feel taking care of your kiddos as they also get antsy in a 2-hour plus line. So kudos to you guys. You certainly are the strongest soldiers. I am not, and I'm okay with that. Now I will say, we still have one more thing to do in Fantasyland, and we will only have finished 2 of our lands, but I was kind of right in the sense that I want to sit down. I've been standing for 2 hours. It's longer than I thought it would be, so I'm gonna go do PhilharMagic. Okay, what the heck? I mean, honestly.
That was a lot to digest. It was kind of a nightmare day. I don't envy you at all.
I mean, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train should not be done in the middle of the day. I think this is a very specific example where even if you don't want to zigzag, because I totally understand why you wouldn't want to,
sure,
maybe go back. Like for us, you know, part of the challenge was that I could not leave the land until it was finished. And that was in that land and it was on the list. So like we had to do it. But if you guys are here and you see that wait time, just come back. I promise it'll be okay. It won't be that many extra steps. You can still do land by land for the most part. Come back.
We're not saying you have to zigzag, but maybe just scoot.
I was gonna say just zag.
Just zag.
I only did 9 things in 5.5 hours.
And I did 13.
So, but considering I had that long of a wait, it's not that bad. I think that there's pros and cons to both. Sometimes you gotta save your feet. You don't wanna zigzag, and not everything is necessary. If you come a lot, or if just some of the stuff you don't care about, it's okay. Don't feel the need to zigzag. But if you're trying to maximize your day, you're obviously gonna get at least a little bit more done.
The theme of the day, going with a plan, but also don't be afraid to change your plans, go with the flow, because you just never know what's gonna happen with lines, long lines, or Genie Plus crashes.
What happened?
If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe.
Now go watch Breedlove find out the easiest way to do Magic Kingdom.
Bye.
See you later.